Hi, my name is KENNEDE.
Hey, I'm WORSHAM.
I'm Thomas LAVINE.
I live in Oxford, Alabama.
I'm going to be talking about the coronavirus from my perspective.
I'm a musician, a songwriter, and a producer.
Back in March of 2020, when everything began, I think that there was a lot of uncertainty in the world.
I was in denial about how bad it was, and I was sad and depressed.
Reality kind of set in that, like, what if this is, the new normal?
It was strangely almost a positive thing for me and for my music. And I know a lot of other people are not able to say that.
I went through all stages of grief, then just kind of came to the point of like, this is life for now.
We were, all of a sudden advised to quarantine and to make sure that we had everything that we needed. Nobody knew that this virus was coming, and nobody could prepare themselves.
I was supposed to get married April 25th of 2020.
I was in my spring semester, and all of a sudden my professors emailed us and said, you guys cannot come back to campus.
My husband and I ended up eloping in a field of yellow flowers. My brother came and his brother came, but our parents, we didn't want them to come. We wanted to save all of the special parent stuff, and we didn't want anyone to see me in my dress and all that until the big wedding day, that we had planned, and we moved it to September.
We were saying, wow, this is really serious. Everything was closing.
It allowed me to go into isolation, and that allowed me to grow in my craft. I have 2 kids and a wife, and so I really just spent my time between those 2 things.
Me and my husband, although we didn't get to go on our honeymoon like we planned, kind of felt like we were on a honeymoon because we got to see each other every day without going to work. We got to work on renovating our home. We planted our garden. It was kind of nice to take a step back.
As far as academics were concerned, everything was online. The numbers were rising and everything was so much scarier.
It's affecting other people more than it has affected my life, so I feel very lucky in that regard.
It was just my experience that it was good to have that kind of isolation, which feels strange to say, but that I feel like that is the truth for me. It's terrible to see all the tragedy that has also come out of it.
Around September and October of 2020, my aunt found out that her and my grandmother both had contracted the virus. The next month was when my grandmother passed from the virus. Other complications led to it, but it was the scariest and most unpredictable thing. I think that was when that weight was just on the family so much, because we realized how serious it was and how in an instant someone that you love can be gone.
Out of all of the nastiness that comes from the pandemic, or that came out of the pandemic, and a horrible virus that decimated a lot of lives and has left a lot of tragedy in its wake.
It was around Christmas time, and my parents both found out that they tested positive for the virus. And I think that was when I felt isolated. I didn't have it, but I was in my room and I was just like, Lord, what do I do? That was when my faith was at its weakest point, because after what had happened a couple months before, I was thinking worst case scenarios. That was when the Holy Spirit was like, no, it's not what you can do, it's what I can do.
There's still something, at least for me, and I hope others, that we came out on the other side of it and felt like we actually grew in some kind of way. That's the best case scenario that you can ask for, I suppose, in a situation like this.
But in those moments, it's so scary, and I think that's what this whole pandemic has really taught a lot of people, and has taught our family too, is just how precious this life is.
I hope some other people have had positive experiences come out of it.
I still find myself getting very depressed and very angry for other people that are dealing with death and job loss and people who have children that are going through it. I hope that we all have like a greater appreciation for each other, and once all of this is over, I guess. I feel like we'll never be back to normal like it was, but I hope that returning to normal includes a greater respect for all the people who have worked hard to keep people safe during this pandemic and just humans in general. So yeah.
We produced this short film in Georgia with a storyline that depicts the effects of COVID-19 from our perspective, which is why we reached out to individuals in different states, because we know this pandemic has affected many lives. We are so grateful to those willing to share their perspective, and we would love to hear yours.
Use hashtag #FurtherThan19 to share your story.
Peace.